Shalom. This is Ron Warren with the Nuggets of the Torah, and this week's teaching is the fourth parsha of Exodus, and it's called Bashalach, and it means when he sent. This is also the 16th parsha of the Torah, and it can be called the parsha of the mighty and delivering hand. Israel had thought that they had seen the last of Pharaoh and his army. They were wrong. In the face of an approach of 600 Egyptian chariots, Moses instructed them to take control of their thoughts and emotions, take up positions along the shore of the Sea of Reeds, and see the deliverance and the salvation of the Lord. Adonai was not a tour guide. He was their armed escort. He was guarding, protecting, defending, and running interference before them. He was going to tell them when to move, stop, take a little bit of a detour, and when to get right back into the path. This is a wonderful picture of how Adonai operates in our lives as we follow him. Now in Exodus chapter 14, verses 1 and 2, it reads, "Now the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, that they may turn and camp before Baal-Haderot, between Migdol and the sea, opposite Baal-Zephon. You shall camp before it by the sea." Baal-Zephon was both a place and an Egyptian god. He was the god of gold and wealth. Now Israel had Egypt's wealth, and Pharaoh thought that Baal-Zephon was keeping it in Egypt until Pharaoh could retrieve it. These opening verses say that the Israelites were heading in one direction, and then God turned them around, backtracked, and moved and made them go into a different direction. This is the result of what Pharaoh heard, and they were wandering aimlessly in the desert. In Exodus chapter 14, verse 4, it says, "And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will pursue them. And I will gain glory for myself through Pharaoh and all his army, and the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord." And so the Israelites did it. It says Adonai hardened Pharaoh's heart. How did he do it? He removed the hand of grace and allowed Pharaoh to operate in his own heart's desire. That still gave Pharaoh free choice. Now, why would Adonai do this? It was to draw the Egyptians to destruction. That was his plan. The drawing of Pharaoh to destruction like a moth to a flame is the pattern that will be repeated at Armageddon. It is written in Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 and 14. I love this verse. It says, "And Moses said to the people, Do not be afraid, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will accomplish for you today. For the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall see again no more forever. The Lord will fight for you, and you shall hold your peace." God's instructions through Moses was fourfold. Fear not. The first thing Moses did was to instruct the people not to be afraid. Fear shows distrust in the ability of God. It is a firm faith in God that is able to accept the command, "Do not fear," in this situation. The next one is stand still. Stand still is a military term. In today's language, it would be report to duty or stand at attention. A better understanding of stand firm is reflecting the faith and the confidence in the delivering power of God. Watch. Moses says, "See what the Lord will accomplish for you today." God doesn't need our help. We don't need to fight. We need to stay out of the way and watch him work. Keep silent and hold your peace. This picture is one of complete trust. This is the hardest to do because we feel like we have to tell everybody about our predicament. But the only one who can do anything about our predicament already knows, and he's waiting for us to look to him and be silent. All of these instructions are directed to our natural human responses to panic. First, you're afraid. Second, you run. Third, you fight. And fourth, you tell everyone who will listen. Now, there's a force in this world that tries to imprison reality within man's understanding. This force defines whatever is beyond human understanding or reason is non-existent. I call this force Amalek. I don't know who or what your Amalek is, but God does. If you are flying his banner and relying on him, he will fight for you. But if you have locked him out of your life and tried to do things in your own strength, flying your own flag, God can't work. Now, when the devil flies his flag, the Spirit of God is going to raise up a banner. A banner is a flag that's usually carried on two poles, bearing the slogans and the principles of the group concerned. Consider this: you are at war with Hasatan and the troubles and the sins and the temptation that he places in your path. To win this battle, stand firm and fight under the banner of Adonai, for your God is Adonai Nissi. The Lord is your banner. Now, what are you struggling with in your life today? Are you facing a battle that you think you can't win? Is your battle against the people, against the system, against temptation, or against a desire? Paul writes in Ephesians chapter 6, verses 12 to 13, "For our struggles is not against the flesh and blood, but against rulers, against authority, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the whole armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything, to stand." Shalom. Until next week's episode of the Nuggets of the Torah.